Yeah. Okay, good evening, everyone. Uh, this is our podcast. It is going to be about our learning process. Um, Today, here we are with my classmates, María José González Peña, Sharik Daniela Salazar Vergara, Dani Juliana Londoño Astaiza, María Valentina Pedroso Narváez, and who speaks, Sofía Moreno Jaimes. During this podcast, we are going to be answering and sharing our own experiences about our learning process with English. So, I'm going to start with the first question, and it is when and how did you start learning English and what motivated you? In my case, I would say that I started learning English when I was like 14, 13 years old. I got very obsessed with this band, One Direction, and they motivated me to learn English because I wanted to learn more about their personalities, their songs, and what they like or dislike. So, yeah. And then in the future, or like as a grown up, it motivates me because English open a lot of doors. It can be in the academic aspect or professional aspect. Now, about what about you, Maria Jose? Can you please answer the question of like how and when did you start learning English, and if someone motivated you?
Thank you, Sophia. Okay, in my case, well, I started learning English when I was about 14 years old. But to be honest, I don't study very much on that time. I only watch some time in English, maybe one time a month, like a video or a short movie. In school, we had English, but they didn't teach us a lot. So I use apps like Duolingo and watch video on YouTube. It was very slow. I just learned like little by little without a plan, but that was the beginning. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Maria Jose, for sharing your experience. Now, you, Sharik Daniela, can you please answer the first question?
Of course, in my case, I started learning English when I was 16 years old, and in my final years of high school, my mom recommended me that I should choose a degree that could give me a different job opportunity. So she suggested that learning English could open many doors, and I think that English it was a good option. So then I'm here learning English.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing your reason. Now, Maria Valentina.
Okay. Um, in my case, I started learning English at school. Like most people, at first I didn't feel special. It was just another subject with list of vocabulary and grammar rules that I had to memorize to pass the test. I didn't really connect with it, but little by little, things started to change. I remember hearing song I loved it and wishing I could understand the lyric without searching for a translation. I wanted to watch movie and get the joke, feel the emotion, not just read the title. That when I start to see English differently, not as a school subject, but as a key to things, genuinely care about the motivation grade slowly almost without me noticing, but they are released. I didn't just want to learn English, I want to live it to feel confident expressing myself and connecting with the world in new way. that feeling is what kept me going.
Very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing. How did you start learning English? Now, Danny, we want to hear you.
Hello. I began learning English through school, starting in elementary school. However,
Chica,
it
se
was
me fue el internet.
during my teenage years that I truly immersed myself in the language. I discovered I could understand my favorite song without waiting for someone to translate them. Additionally, by watching series and movies in English, I realized I could catch jokes and cultural reference that I had previously missed. This emotional connection with the language motivate me continue learning around the age 13. 13, my teacher encouraged used to develop a love for English through engaging activities rather than relying solely on theory or overwhelming use with grammar. Final, on the other hand, music greatly helped me gain confidence in pronunciation. He did listening to English podcasts.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing your journey pretty much learning English. Now we are going to continue with the second question. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them? So I can start if you want to. I feel that one of my biggest challenges was that for me it was very hard to write. I think writing is like the communication skill that I struggle the most. Um, and yeah, trying to express myself through words for me was very hard. But then through chats with like myself or back in the day with just Google, I used to write messages and sometimes Google or the Google Translator used to correct me, and that was the way that I faced this challenge and I could improve my writing skill. So what about you guys? Like, what was the biggest challenge that you faced and how did you like overcome? Like, how did you achieve to like get better in that challenge? Maria Jose, do you want to share something?
Okay, thank you, Sophia. In my case, one big challenge for me was that I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to watch, what to use, or how to study. Sometimes I study hard, felt like I was not learning anything. That made me feel bad and tired. So I stopped for some time, but later I saw that I really learned something. uh, Even when I was not trying too hard. So now I started that it's okay to rest and come back again. Learning English goes up and down. It's normal for me. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, sometimes it can be like you can see a lot of information and it can be like very stressful. So I definitely understand how you felt. Now, Sharik, do you want to share your answer?
Yeah, in my case, one of the biggest challenge was understanding native speakers, especially in movies or fast conversations. And I also felt nerves speaking because I was afraid to making mistakes. I think it's pretty normal in an English learners, but I had to take a breath and be patient with myself. Now I try to speak even if I wasn't sure, and little by little I gain confidence.
Perfect. Yeah, I feel that like confidence is very important when you are learning like a second language. Thank you very much, Sharik, for sharing your challenge. Now, Maria Valentina, can you hear us? And can you please answer the second question? What were some of the biggest challenges you faced and how did you overcome them?
Okay. One of my biggest challenges has been speaking without fear. I could understand a lot of, but I was afraid to express myself, afraid of making mistake or being launched at. That fear held me back for a long time until I realized it, that making mistake is a natural part of learning. I start practicing by talking to myself, recording my voice, and most importantly, allowing myself to be imperfect. Grammar was another constant challenge. There were rules that confused and structure I keep forgetting. That's why I decided to enjoy language academies to strengthen the areas where I struggle. Today I'm still working on improving every skill, pronunciation, fluency, reading, and listening.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It's very nice to hear that you could overcome that challenge. Now, Danny, can you please share your answer?
Yes, one of the biggest challenges was pronunciation. Although I am not yet an expert, I now have the confidence to speak in front of there. Initially, I felt insecure about speaking, afraid of making mistakes. However, I overcame this by recording myself reading aloud and then listening to the recording to in identify areas for improvement. This was thanks to the numerous videos segments recorded by me university. I have used apps that allowed me to practice with the native speakers, which helped me gain more confidence.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that you said, that practicing with natives can help you to improve your English. Very, very good. Thank you very much, Danny, for sharing your experience and the challenges that you faced. Now, talking about a little bit about challenges, I would like to be like a little bit more specific. What strategies or methods help you to improve your English the most? Um, I would say that a strategy that I used to for example, stop being afraid of speaking English was to speak to myself or speak to the mirror and try to create conversations in some kind of way that helped me to be more fluent and gain more confidence about what I was trying to express through words. So yeah, what about you, Maria Jose? Did you practice any method or strategy that helped you with English the most?
Thank you, Sophia. When I feel tired or frustrated with English, I like to watch movies or videos in English. It helps me relax and remember why I like the language. I enjoy watching things, and I don't feel like I'm studying. So after that, I feel more ready to study with other things like apps, music, or short text. This is how I start again when I feel stuck. It's like pressing the restart button. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, definitely listen or watching videos can help you to get better with your listening and also speaking. So that's a very good strategy, Maria Jose. And what about you, Sharik? Do you have another strategy?
Yeah, in my case was find things that I like. For example, my series, my favorite series is Criminal Mind. So I started to watching it in English. It was really useful to practice my listening skill. And my speaking, I start practicing with ChatGPT. It's really useful for me. Um, I would like because it gives me feedbacks. And with music was really difficult to me because I really like Spanish music, but I start to find look for my own style. And my favorite musician now is Hosier, and I enjoy to listen music in English now. So for me, it's pretty important to find something that you enjoy and that you like.
Thank you very much. That's actually very important, Sharik. I think that like when we find a way to like actually like the language through music, movies, TV shows, it can help us a lot to get better very, very fast in our learning process. That's a very good strategy. Now, Maria Valentina, do you have a different strategy or something that works with you?
Okay, in my case, what made it the biggest difference for me was turning English into part of my everyday life. Not just something I practice it at the school, but something I use every day in my daily life. Talking with thousands of people and even talking to myself in English to practice it, speaking in the language. And this small habit done constantly help me improve my learning feel less like a task and more like covering a new part of myself.
Perfect. Thank you very much for answering the question. Now, Dani Juliana, can you share with us if you have a different method or strategy?
Learning through music, listening to song in English and following along with the lyrics allowed me to improve my listening comprehension and usually expand my vocabulary. Two word games, playing various online games helped reinforce my spelling and learn new words in a relaxing environment. And three, the digital immersion. I changed the language settings on my electronic device to English and follow with content creators with share their experience in English, enabling me to learn naturally and contextually.
That's pretty good, and that makes a lot of sense. Learning by context can also help you to understand more the topics that you are trying to learn. Thank you very much, Dani Juliana. Okay, because of the time, as you see, we have 18 minutes of podcast. I'm going to ask one last question. And the last question will be, how would you describe your current level and what are your future goals with English? I would say that like my current level is conversational, but I would like to be more technical, like more based on like the teaching vocabulary or business vocabulary. So I would like to learn like different types of vocabulary because the type of learning that we learn while we are learning basic English is like more like daily vocabulary, but I personally would like to learn more about like, I don't know, Bible vocabulary, medical vocabulary, business vocabulary, laws vocabulary. So yeah, I feel that one of my future goals with English is to learn different vocabulary and apply it on I don't know, a future work as a translator or something like that. Now, what about you, Maria Jose? Do you have any future goal with English? And what is your current level?
Okay, thank you, Sophia. Okay, in my case, right now, I think my level is maybe B2 I can understand many things and I can talk, but I still make mistakes. Of course, I want to improve more. My goal is to reach level C1 because I need it for my studies and my future job. I want to feel more confident when I speak. I understand native speakers better. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, I will say that too, that I would like to be more confident like you, Maria Jose. Now, Sharik, do you have any future goal and what is your like level right now?
Okay, right now I'm in an intermediate level. I can understand most conversation and express myself, and for me, it's a target for me is pretty good. My currently level, but one of my goal or my target for the future obviously is improving. I would like to become an English teacher. So I would like to get a C1 level. But the most important thing for me is um, I would like to improve my fluently. And as you said before, I would like to learn a different vocabulary, maybe more technically or related to business or something like that.
Yeah, I think that like if we want to focus our English in like a future profession or job, we need to definitely work in like fluency. I need to work on that too. Maria Valentina, what do you think is your current level and what are your future goals with English?
I will describe my current levels as intermediate, strong enough to understand and communicate, but still with the space to grow. My goal is to achieve fluency, especially when speaking and writing, and in the future, I want to use English not only to travel and connect with people from different cultures, but also in my professional life first as the teacher, translator, or even working abroad.
That sounds very good. I hope like you can get or achieve those future goals. Now, Dani Juliana, can you please answer the last question?
Currently, I consider myself at the upper intermediate level. My future goals include achievement and advanced level, in any situation, and obtaining official certification like 12 or ELTS, and applying English in my professional life, be participating in conference and collaborating with international teams.
That sounds very good. Well, thank you to all of you for sharing like your personal English learning journey. I hope that all of us can achieve our future goals with English and we can keep learning more and more. Um, this is the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for joining to the podcast. This is for English 7.